Have you ever noticed how some athletes are just incredible in high pressure situations? You know, those guys or gals that just seem to be able to find another gear when they need to or when their team needs them. Have you ever asked yourself why that's the case? And if these people are born with it or it can be achieved? Well, these are some of the questions that I'm hoping to answer for you guys in my next series of videos, which is focusing on high performance in pressure situations. This first video, we're going to be looking at the concept of clutch, what it is, what examples of it are, and who really personifies what clutch means. At the end of the video, I'm also going to give you my 3 most clutch moments that I have ever bore witness to in my life. So make sure you stay tuned to the end.
Perfect.
Message.
Evening everyone, Dr. Matt here. You know the deal. I love sports as a fan, I love exercise as a medicine, and I'm back giving you the medical eye on all things sports related. So I've just finished watching that documentary about Micheal Jordan, what's it called? The Last Dance, yeah? And it got me pumped. Like, the guy is insane, he's incredible, the ultimate winner. And I don't understand that someone could watch it and just go to sleep. I literally couldn't go to sleep and immediately started researching and cooking this up for you guys, right? The thing that interested me the most in that documentary was his mentality, his ability to perform under pressure. And by perform, I don't just mean, you know, play well, but actually elevate his level of performance as was needed, seemingly at will. Incredible. This got me motivated to do a little deep dive into the physiology and the psychology of how athletes' bodies respond under that pressure. I think for me, and I think for a bunch of the sports fans out there, competitive sports is about those moments, those points where you decide whether you win or you lose. It fascinates me personally, and I've done a little bit of extra research so you guys don't have to. And we're going to go on this journey together, and we're going to find out what's really going on and what makes people perform in those moments, and vice versa.
A chance to send the Thunder home. Lillard, long-range 3, and it's good!
So what is clutch? And what is it to be a big moment athlete? I'm going to spend this first video educating you on what it all means. And that's going to give us a great foundation to move forward into the other videos, which you guys are going to love. I'm 100% sure if you're a sports fan. Okay, think of a time when you were under really high pressure, a tough situation, back against the wall, and you came through it. But not only did you come through it, you actually smashed it. If you did that, you were clutch. Now think of the reverse. A situation where you really had to perform and you flopped. Happened. In that case, you choked. All of these situations involved high-level psychophysiological processes that led you to the point of success, failure, or something in between. I'm here to take you on the journey of those processes and ultimately help you explain why some people triumph while others choke. So here we go. Right. What are these moments? In the psychology world, these moments might be described as motivated performance situations. That makes sense, right? A motivated performance situation can be defined as situations in which the individual must actively perform instrumental responses to reach a self-relevant or important goal. Put simply, it's a situation where you have to deliver in order to reach your goals. So, having to hold serve in a tennis match, or make birdie in golf, or save or score a goal in football. These are all motivated performance situations. And the more important the goal, the bigger the situation. right? That makes sense. This leads us nicely onto pressure. Now, we all kind of know what pressure is, but it's important the way it's worded in psychological terms. So listen to this definition. Pressure can be defined as real or perceived serious demand imposed on a person. This can be by a group, an individual, or a situation. For example, a motivated performance situation. The key words in that definition are perceived and demand. I will explain why in more detail, but what's important to understand is how an athlete perceives a challenge and the level of demand that challenge might put on them is key to how they respond. But as I said, I'll go into that in more detail in future videos. Right, so now we know what these big moments are, aka motivated performance situations. We also know what pressure is from a psychological definition point of view, which means we're ready to talk about how the body responds to the pressure of those situations. So it's all going to come together like that. Right, okay. We understand that under pressure, people react in all sorts of different ways, okay, along a spectrum. So it's not just, oh, you either fail miserably or you're the next Micheal Jordan. We accept that, okay? But let's talk about it like that, just for the purposes of what I'm trying to illustrate, all right? So you've heard about the old adage of pressure can either make a diamond or burst the pipe. So let's talk about that. And let's first talk about the bursting of the pipe, right? So for some people, being in a motivated performance situation under high pressure can cause a decrease in their performance. We can call that choking. I have got a definition of choking here from a psychology journal. It goes a little something like this. We define choking as any performance decrement or inferior performance under pressure circumstances. So that's kind of just a posh way of putting what you know already about choking. So for example, for all you football fans out there, Bayern Munich, 1999 Champions League final, 1-0 up versus Manchester United, and they blew it. I think we can call that a collective choke job. One of the best defences in the competition, in the last minute, when the chips were on the line, just forgot how to defend. Their performance dropped significantly, and it allowed Manchester United to cheekily sneak a victory. Amazing scenes, but it's a certified choke job from my point of view. After completely dominating the match, for some reason they just couldn't defend corners for that last couple of minutes. Mental. There's loads more examples, and please put some back down in the comments. I always love to hear about these type of stories. On the other hand, sometimes pressure makes diamonds. We all know there's those athletes that thrive under that pressure. Didier Drogba, for example, Chelsea's legendary striker. I think he scored something like nine goals in 10 finals, something ridiculous like that. We all know Micheal Jordan, he's 6 for 6 in NBA finals with 6 finals MVPs. Ridiculous. We therefore introduce another word to describe these guys. Clutch. Now clutch has many meanings, right? And I'm going to go through them. But just the definition I've got from a psychology paper talking about clutch performance versus choking. Clutch performance is defined as any performance increment or superior performance that occurs under pressure circumstances. A clutch performer, therefore, can not only maintain their performance in a high pressure situation, but they can elevate it as necessary. Now, obviously, this just doesn't happen all the time with every big game athlete, but they tend to be able to do it more than others. Right, okay, so you guys have got to get used to the word clutch because I'm going to be using it a lot and it's really, really useful in what we're trying to achieve, okay? So, I'm going to explain it to you by working through an example, okay? So, let's take Didier Drogba scoring in the Champions League final. I think in 2012 against Bayern Munich again. Sorry, Bayern fans.
This is pretty much last chance salute. Drogba is out! Didier Drogba! It just had to be!
Right, so let's work this through. So firstly, the situation. Champions League final, team playing terrible, late in game, 1-0 down. That is a high pressure, motivated performance situation that in slang probably you can call the clutch or clutch time, right? So that's where we were, in a high pressure, motivated performance situation where someone needed to deliver, the clutch, right? The action was Didier Drogba actually scoring the goal. So it was the physical action needed to reach the goal that he was trying to achieve in that high pressure, motivated performance situation. So the action of him scoring that goal was clutch. So that logically brings us to the conclusion that in a clutch situation, he performed a clutch action, and therefore you can describe Drogba in that situation as clutch. So he is a clutch player as a result of performing clutch things at clutch times. Get it?
The UEFA Champions League for Chelsea. Drogba against Neuer. A new name on the trophy.
I think that's pretty good explanation, actually, if I do say so myself. I think the best way to truly understand it is to try and apply that in other situations, other big game moments or big moments from whatever sport you like, whether it's tennis or golf with Tiger Woods or basketball, of course, loads of examples of that, and really apply the situation, apply the action, apply the person, and then you come up and you really understand what I mean when I say clutch. That person's clutch, that situation's clutch. So yeah, another good example, which I think is really easy, is just like in track and field. So if you watch the Olympics or the World Championships, you'll find that some athletes peak at the right time and they break world records or their season best in the final of their competition. Whereas other sprinters and the like seem to just never be able to do it in a major tournament. You know, they win all the Diamond League and all their local competitions, but in the Olympics or World Championship, they just can't seem to do it. So, you know, I think that's another good example, actually. Take that to the bank. Right, let's summarize, yeah? So, we're talking about why some athletes thrive under pressure whilst others absolutely wilt. And talking about the processes that might be behind that. We define these high leverage moments as motivated performance situations, if you remember. We define pressure as the demands placed on a person, real or perceived, to perform an act. We then grossly divided responses under pressure into choking, which is decreased performance, or clutch, which is increased performance, whilst appreciating that obviously there's loads and loads of responses in between, and we respect that also. Right, so this was just the start, yeah? So next time we're going to take a deeper dive into why the heck these phenomena happen and, you know, how the body figures it all out. In the meantime, make sure you follow me on Instagram and make sure you click subscribe so you get the notification when the next videos are out. And yeah, also, I did not forget, and here are my top 3 most clutch moments I've ever seen in my life. Enjoy, I know you will.
We've played 2.5 minutes of stoppage time. England trail by 2-1. Beckham could raise the roof here with a goal. I don't believe it. David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals. Give that man a knighthood.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Wow. His 3rd block of the game as we come up on 1.5 minutes remaining. Out to the rim. Oh, great block. James out of nowhere, skies to the rim.
He blocked by James from behind, and J.R. Smith got the ball. What a block by LeBron James. Came all
Dallas puts it up. Oh, LeBron tracked him down and made the rejection. Huge defensive play by the four-time MVP. Back on the net once from their right back. Sheko equalises. What do you know about this? Still time, just.
Well, this is where they're going to cause problems, isn't it, in the air? Put Lescott forward, put Company forward.
This pretty quickly now, Aguero looking for the 1-2. Balotelli drops. Aguero, he can win it. Oh, he's won the title, surely, for Manchester City. An unbelievable finish. 2 goals in stoppage time. Has the title ever been won more dramatically than that?
Right, on that note, I will see you guys soon. Remember, follow and subscribe. Take care.